So I actually skipped by Rodney because he's too short. So Rodney was here in mid-80s with the rest of us, and he was a phenomenal football player. And just outstanding, great person, all that good stuff. But as Kevin can tell you that sometimes the lives of athletic directors depend on winning and losing at Division I. And I didn't know until I called him about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, that he's got one of the biggest development programs for men's basketball players in all of Atlanta. And I'm thinking, why do I know that now that I'm no longer an athletic director? I still think I got some letters from Ernest Watson on your behavior at the campus. Please welcome Rodney Lewis.
Hello, everyone. First and foremost, let me give all the honor to God, because without Him, this moment wouldn't be here for me. I want to give thanks to my grandparents. My grandfather poured a lot of insight into me of being better than I ever thought I could be. I also want to bring up my mother, and many of my family members may not know this, excuse me, but it all started with my mother, Mary Lewis. It all started with my mother. Just like Rebecca, my height, I didn't fit the mold. A lot of schools looked over me with my talent, and I had a really successful high school career as well. But I will say, thinking back to some tough lessons my mother gave me, she mentioned, you're only as good as your last performance. Now, you would think that she would, say that once or twice and we could keep it moving, but she said that to me every single game. And there was times where when she couldn't attend a game, I would always have that in my heart, and knowing that I'm gonna play my toughest, I'm gonna play my hardest, I'm gonna play my best game, so that my mother would have to read the Detroit Free Press and see my name in the paper for a game that she didn't attend. So I kept that with me, and I spoke to Mr. Bill Reagan, my football coach, and 35 years, I never had the opportunity to express my gratitude to you and your wife for bringing me in, welcoming me into the family. There was times where I came to school early. Mr. Reagan would allow me to stay in his home, treat me like one of his. And his wife's father, he was such a great man to me. And I only knew him from a football perspective, because he came to many of the games that I played in St. Joe. And when I tell you, this man would give me a different motivational quote before I go on that field. And from my parents and my grandparents, my family, who from Detroit, who didn't attend a game, I had your father to give me something to push me, to propel me forward. So I want to thank you so much. And it took me 35 years to let you guys know. Thank you. I will forever be grateful to Mr. Mack, my high school football coach. Again, I didn't fit the mold, and I played with some really talented young men in high school, really talented. One in particular who's here, he traveled from Detroit, Michigan, Mr. Steve Cooper. I appreciate you, brother. Steve and I played high school football together, and again, my height was, I didn't make it an issue on the football field, and neither of my teammates did either. A lot of my teammates encouraged me and told the coach, put Lewis in, put Lewis in. I tell you, coach, trust me. And once he did, I was able to shine and give my talent to the world like never before. There was a story, I'm gonna share real quick, and Steve can contest. Our high school hadn't beat this team, what was it, Catholic Central. I think my senior year, it was homecoming for us. And we had a really good record, I think we were like 7-1 at the time. And so, last play of the game, we're down by a touchdown, by 6 points maybe. And my quarterback, you know, just like with Mr. Reagan, would call a play that he believes would propel our team to be successful. Unfortunately, I was a little dogmatic, just a little bit. I told my quarterback, get me the ball. Throw it on the side that I'm gonna be on. I don't care what the situation is. And I can't tell you how I made this catch. Like, I reached out, 2 hands, flat line in the air, and I was successful and I caught the ball. And I remember the assistant coach running on the field and lifting me up as if like I was a king of some city or something. And that was one of the highest times of my life as an athlete and as a young man at my high school. And again, my high school had very talented players. Many of us went on to play college football. So this honor is big for me, for them. I also want to give thanks to the many folks who've traveled from Detroit, my family. I'm not going to forget this person in my family, my Uncle Michael. I also played baseball. I was a really good athlete in baseball as well, and he was my coach. And we had a connection. And he would, you know, pour into me, you know, father figure information, keep me on point, keep my head straight. You know, we didn't play in the best environments, but at the same time, you know, he was somebody I could lean on, I could talk to, and I could trust. Because in this world, sometimes you can't trust those that give you information. You got to really just believe that the people, they're on your team, they're on your side. They want to see you do well. And my Uncle Michael, I appreciate you. Definitely. I have to go back to Mr. Bill Raymond. You took the chance on me. I recall it was August 1st. I would never forget this ever in my life. August 1st, I was over my grandparents' home, and I with my cousins, and it's always a lot of us at the time, you know, living life. We were lifing at the time. And Mr. Reagan gave my grandmother, he called her phone. My grandmother said, Rodney, tell the phone. I'm like, okay. I get the phone, and I hear this voice that says, would you like to play college football? Now again, this is August 1st. I had no plans. I had no knowledge of what my life was going to be at that time. When I got your call, you changed the course of my life. And like many athletes that desire to play Division I, if Division II, if JUCO, if any school calls you to play, that's where you go.
Amen.
And I accepted, and I had to be down at St. Joe within 2 weeks. And so between my mother and myself, we made it happen. And I would have never got that shot if it wasn't for you. So thank you again. Appreciate it. Well, to my brothers on the field, Ryan Hassett, I can't even say nobody else's name because you were the person that stayed in connection with me. You were my guy at St. Joe. And we went through a lot in terms of trying to graduate, girlfriends, football practice, and you kept me on point. I will always remember that. Thank you very much. Jim Slingster, my roommate, he always gave me the stats before every game of what I had to do to stay ranked in the nation. My junior year, I was 15th in the nation, and he gave me some stats. I was like, I don't think that's possible. Coach Reagan out throwing me the ball, 20 times. It's not gonna work. But I've always respected Jim. I've always appreciated your kindness, your acceptance, and I'm glad you came down as well, brother. Thank you so much. I didn't forget Damon. He was my quarterback my sophomore and junior year. My junior year, I was ranked the highest in my career due to this man, because between he and I, we had such a desire to win that we would alter plays and whatever it took. I gave him that wink, like, and he would throw it, and wherever he threw it, I promise you I caught it. Am I right? I promise you I caught it. So with me and Damon, I appreciate you too, brother. I'm not gonna forget Pat Leonard. He was the quarterback my freshman year. A little challenging, but we made it. We walked through. To my good friends that I attended St. Joe with, Thaddeus Wilkins, Ike, Mustafa, I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for coming as well. Ike is also a childhood friend. We played Little League Baseball together, Finkel Field. So he knew my mentality coming into St. Joe. He immediately pulled me to the side and said, hey, you can't do that up here. It's different, right? So thank you for the heads up. I appreciate that. Right? There's so many people I can thank in terms of my brothers that I went to college with, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention two men that were not only roommates, but became really good friends over my life. And that's Shaston Pittman and also Reggie Johnson. Now, I don't know if you guys know those names, but Reggie Johnson, his son plays for Oregon, and they had their spring football game yesterday. So that's why he's not here. But those are my guys, and they also kept me on point at St. Joe to try to become the best I could be. Just a few more minutes, I know I'm going over.
You're from Detroit, what do you expect?
Again, to my family that traveled across Georgia to get here, across Detroit, across Texas, Houston, Aaron Jackson, thank you, brother. My good friend Mike from Florida. You guys have no idea what this means to me. I gave an analogy to my wife last week, and I said, you know, for me, this is going to be more of a family reunion because I've had my blinders on for 20, 25 years of trying to be successful, trying to run a business, be a father, be a husband, all those different tasks that some men is difficult to accomplish. I give thanks to my wife for still being my wife, my friend. I give thanks to my sons, my daughter that's here. They're turning out to be solid people, and that's what this is all about. I appreciate my mother-in-law for being here. I mean, I'm just grateful. I am humble. And the committee that voted for me, thank you. I have drinks for you after this. Tonight, I stand not just as a Hall of Famer, but as living proof that no dream is too big when you dare to believe. Work without excuses and stay faithful to the journey. I am honored, I am grateful, and I will always be proud to be a Puma. Thank you.